With the cost for most everyday items in the U.S. taking off, an ever-increasing number of individuals are focusing on a global objective that won't burn through every last cent. A few regions are reasonable to such an extent that with enough reserve funds, you might have the option to leave your place of employment or simply work part-time despite everything enjoy unheard of extravagance and comfort. Global Residing delivered its yearly report on the world's best places to reside, and the outcomes might shock you. From waterfront escapes to European areas of interest, a few of the nations are wonderful, yet they are likewise incredibly modest. Thus, while the rundown is intended for retired folks, these nations might be incredible choices for anybody with a solid investment account or who wouldn't fret living on a tight spending plan. Number 1. Uruguay. Presently, the cost for many everyday items in the U.S. is $2,213, with lease for one individual costing a normal of $1,399 each month. Indeed, even with a consistent pay, living in the U.S. has become unreasonably expensive for some. Assuming you are tired of working your everyday job, think about the Latin American objective of Uruguay. The nation is choice, offering almost 400 miles of coast, moving slopes and 4 unmistakable seasons. The average cost for many everyday items is almost 50% of what it is in the States at $1,143. As verified by Global Living, contingent upon the local, you can track down a pleasant condo at the sensible cost of $526 each month. Number 2. Spain. Whether you need to go through your days absorbing the sun on the Costa del Sol or are more inspired by the dynamic social and workmanship scene of Madrid, you essentially can't turn out badly with Spain. The European nation is saturated with history, offers incredible medical care, and has pretty much every sort of topography under the sun. The average cost for many everyday items in Spain is around $1,246 each month, despite the fact that it very well may be more in greater urban areas or resort oceanside towns. Indeed, even in the most costly areas, it will probably still be fairly less expensive than the typical expense it takes to live in the U.S. Furthermore, the top-notch medical care will save you for sure. Number 3. Malta. Looks can misdirect. A speedy look at the minuscule island archipelago of Malta might make you imagine that Maine, the world's tip-top, could stand to live there. Luckily, the specific inverse is valid. The island brags a shockingly reasonable expense living at $1,340 each month. The nation, encompassed by the reasonable blue waters of the Mediterranean Ocean, is shocking. Lease is fairly costly, contingent upon where you live. Yet it is worth the effort considering the 360-degree seas. Also the way that food and different things are altogether less expensive than in the U.S. Number 4. France. To eat on amazingly popular food, shop in the best stores or visit eminent exhibition halls, presently is your opportunity. France is a can hope for somebody ready to live on a careful spending plan. The cost for most everyday items in the nation is $1,451, or 1.53 times more affordable than in the U.S. Expats who dwell in the nation appreciate minimal expense medical services, unique objections and manners for under $200,000. Thus, in the event that you have a pleasant estimated reserve funds or will get a part-time gig, you may very well have the option to drop the regular drive for tasting wine at a manor in the French open country. Number 5. Ecuador. For genuine deal trackers, a nation like Ecuador is modest and protected with an entirely agreeable all-year environment. The cost for most everyday items for one individual in the nation is $785. Ecuador is topographically different with miles of vast seashores, mountains, and rainforests, leaving something special for everybody. Lodging is conservative with the typical lease for one individual costing around $322 each month. Retired folks or youthful grown-ups expecting to stop the corporate drudgery for a more charming way of life can live in the country for undeniably not exactly the U.S. Number 6. Colombia. It is no big surprise that expats are running to Colombia. The nation is wealthy in biodiversity. The enormous South American nation borders the Caribbean Ocean and the Pacific Sea. The Andes Mountains cut through the west, while the Amazon rainforest sits toward the east. The average cost for most everyday items in Colombia is close to one-fourth of what it is in the U.S. at $546 each month. Lease, food, and transportation costs are notably short of what you would hope to pay in the States. Number 7. Portugal. With an expected cost for many everyday items for one individual at $1,073, Portugal offers Americans wanting to live abroad a low-estimated European choice. The actual country is little contrasted with adjoining Spain. Yet what it needs size it compensates for in culture. Portugal overflows old-world appeal and is known for its mind-boggling coastline networks. The country's public transportation is best in class, meaning you might not need to at any point buy a vehicle. With the cash you save, you might very well at no point ever need to work in the future. Number 8. Mexico. Numerous Americans acquainted with the vacation-oppressed urban communities of Cozumel and Cancun may shake their head at living in Mexico, yet the nation brings much more to the table. Mexico is an expat's fantasy. It is near the States, offers sensible medical care, and is significantly more affordable than the U.S. The typical cost for most everyday items in the district for one individual is $786 each month, with the typical lease costing just $354. Mexico is something beyond a spring break escape for school co-eds. Notwithstanding the white sandy seashores it is known for, the nation has delectable wildernesses and clearing deserts. For Americans searching for a deal, medical services is significantly less exorbitant than in the U.S., and it is generally simple to turn into an occupant. Number 9. Costa Rica. The focal American nation of Costa Rica is the ideal spot to live abroad without exhausting your investment funds. The cost for most everyday items is around $1,000 and lease for one individual runs roughly $440 each month. The tropical objective has practical medical services and is just a short departure from the southern U.S. Local people, apparently, are agreeable, greeting expats wholeheartedly. The weather conditions is lovely, the water is warm, and the lodging is exceptionally reasonable. Number 10. Panama. Panama tops the list of best places in the world to retire, which means it could be a good option for anyone to live cheaply. It is no wonder that it regularly claims the title, since the cost of living is under half of what it would cost in the U.S. at $1,112 for one person. Rent runs approximately $588 per month, and food takes up another $365, but outside of that, costs are minimal. The country is centrally located, has a mild climate, and offers world-class beaches. It seems only fitting that this charming retreat makes the list.